Test, test, test.
Ba, 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 bum. All right. I'll be right back. Oh, all right. Let's see. Oops. Mm-hmm. All right, we should be good. Can't tell if the music is loud enough. I think it's good though. All right. Oh. What's up, Reinhardt? How's it going? Is my stream buffering? Or is it laggy and stuff? At least on YouTube it says it is. On OBS it says it's low too. What the heck? Now that you notice? Alright. Man, streaming is such a pain. It's just like, I just don't understand what. I mean, it's just my internet is bad. It just feels like there's so many little things that go wrong. But let me just close some things that are running in the background. Hopefully that improves some stuff. It might have just been some things were running in the background. Full screen glitch? I have no idea. Probably not though. I haven't worked on it at all. I'm glad you're here to remind me. You said you're gonna fix it? It's been weeks. Yep, I will eventually fix it, I'm sure. It's glitching. Yeah. This Emacs shouldn't be glitching though, because it's not full screen, I think. It'll just be like for that 1 second when the thing opens full screen. All right, good. Most of the time we're in Emacs anyways, so. All right, let's see. What are we doing today? I might fix a few bugs from launching. Also, I'm surprised I've seen a lot more rooms generate with those the barriers messed up. Why don't you run your games inside Emacs? I can't really run my game inside of Emacs. I mean, I do launch it from Emacs, but let's look at this one first. Or let's start easy. We'll ease into it. Just use Emacs as your browser. What's up, Nelps? How's it going? We'll start with the ore crusher idea, because I think that was a good idea. Emacs as OS. One day I swear I'm gonna build an Emacs replacement. Mark my words. Mark my words. Ore crusher? Oh no, it's probably just in housing. Let's go to this one. Oh, I just put the recipes in line. So I have an option. I can either make a tier 2 ore crusher that people upgrade that lets you crack crystals into shards. What do you think? Tier 2 ore crusher that you upgrade into, or just one and just let it do both? Unimax, I like that. That's a good name. Got an interview in some hours. A little bit nervous. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Oh, for a go job. Nice. That's exciting. Item ID crystal, or what is it called? Consumable crystal? Crystal something. It's hard because it's 6 more recipes. Oh. Crystal shard defense from a crystal defense. We'll do 2 to 1. Vitality. Willpower. And then defense, willpower. We'll do, what's next? I guess strength. I have an order that I always do these in, and I don't really want to look. I don't care. Strength. Let's check this out. Is there going to be pregnancy in the game? No. Right, we should have ore crusher recipes now. Why does it show 1? Oh, it takes. I mixed up the numbers. I did 2 to 1. Could you imagine? Oh, I can only output 1 item. I guess it's reasonable to add this feature. Like, it might be nice to have in the future. I wonder how hard it is to add. Those are all configs. Has output. Oh, is this just for, what is this for? I don't know. Okay, draw item stack. That's for the recipe. We just hard code it to 1. So that's an easy fix. We just use the number from the recipe. And then output slot is valid. And then let's look at this one a little bit more. I feel like there's got to be something that checks for if there's enough room for us to put the block. Final items to add. Yeah, this is the whole crafting code, so we'll have to, this will be the most complicated one. Let's just look for this. Oh, all of this is in. Yeah, both of these are here. Final items to add. So we can't add multiple. We should have to add a multiplier times input count. Min. I use Emacs because one of my friends in college suggested I should try out Emacs, and now I just have used it forever. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm still so sleepy. I'm already halfway through my coffee. Base time processes. So we have 1 by default. Good point. I make some coffee too now. Yeah. I can't blame you. I'm about to do the same thing, I think. I'm gonna have to drink 3. Yeah, I'm sleepy because I just woke up. I don't know what you're Okay. So we did just pass this time, so it does make sense we would have at least 1. So this is how many items we'd process based off of the time. And then we do a minimum. I'm surprised I don't have a... I guess I just assumed there's no possible way you'd ever... Oh, I think the assumption is maybe that if you always go from... If you always go from multiple to 1, then you can never take more than you give, so you would never overflow the output section. Oh no, I just calculate the max here. The number of items we can process based off the remaining room in the output slot. So that stays the same. The problem is this doesn't factor in the multiplication of outputting 2. Process count from source slot. Yeah, this is the number of things we can process given what's in the source slot. Okay. So this needs to be upgraded. It's hard because I'm either treating process count like, yeah, no, this does need to factor in. It needs to factor in the number of, okay, that's that one. This one stays the same. Like, I think we just need to do a division by output count. So we get 1 because we've passed the timer. Then everything else is based on the ratio. Bonus time. This is just the number of items we're going to process based off of, like the number of recipes we'll process based off of time. So all of these should be the number of things we process. Okay. Is that correct? I think that this is right. Because we want to divide by, like if we have 10 more slots left and this is the number of slots that are left, basically. And then we divide it by 2, we can process 5 times. Let's say we divide it by 3, it'll floor naturally because it's int, and it'll be 3. We can process 3 times to make 9. Okay. We'll have to do a lot of testing for this, but I think that that's right. Obviously, this field doesn't exist yet, so we'll have to add it. So this isn't items to add technically. This is the inputs taken, final number of processes by this. This is the number of outputs. Yeah, we'll put it in the output slot with this item stack. And then this will all just fail if we did too many or something. Obviously, we pre-check everything, so ideally this never happens, but... Oh, yeah. Okay. This is just my dev panic thing. In production, it'll just safely exit. Or should I be returning? I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and add this then. I'm gonna make this a uint 8. That's just if it has an output of this item type, okay. Or no, sorry, these ones are 2. But I do need to go through all of these and I'm gonna put this here. I hate this layout though. I wish I did this. This is what I want it to be, I think. Oops. What's up, man? How's it going? It's going good for me. How about you? I'm just changing my there's some crafting blocks that like smelt ores and stuff like that over time, and they didn't previously let you output multiple things, so I'm changing it to let it do that. What's up, Jackie? How's it going? So here we are, doing a lot of pasting for this new field. Most things only output one object, but a few new ones are going to, like this one actually, is going to output 2. Did I do this one already? Okay, this is the ore crusher. Let's was that all of them? Oh, this is the crystal press. It's ore crusher, crystal press. That's why this one doesn't have anything. Okay. Working in a bit. What about you? I'm working right now. I thought that went backwards. Yeah, I'm just starting with some like easier tasks. Well, I thought this was going to be an easy task, but it ended up, because I didn't support outputting multiple crystals, it ended up being a little bit trickier than I thought. It's hard to know if I like set this everywhere. Oops, wrong one. Let's see, we have 57 lines of input count. We have 57 lines of output count, so I think I got them all. Let's just double check this. That's that, and then we've got just has output. Then we use output count there, which I don't know why this is an error, or it's not. All right, just a linter bug. We'll turn that into an int, so we can do the division. Yeah, if this is less than or equal to 0, then obviously we can't craft anymore, so that's good. And then leftover stack has the output as well, but now we calculate outputs given. Instead of hard coding it to 1, it gets from this. Number of processes times the output count. All right, cool. Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna build this, then I might go make another cup of coffee. Did kind of a long build. I guess because I rebuilt the whole crafting thing, which is, I think a lot of things depend on that. Let's see. Let me get a few crystals. All right, let's see if it turns into 2. I'll be right back. I'm gonna make some coffee real quick. I'll be right back. All right, we got 2 of them. That's good. Oh, drag does work. I don't know what Roger was talking about. Maybe it was just in the smelters? You can't take... What did he write? I feel like I should remove my bugs thread because I always get mixed up on what's... Like people post in different areas, it gets so hard to track. Okay. You can shift click and control click to get ore, but you can't normal click or drag click. If you click drag the raw ingredients, they don't swap to your inventory. Don't they though? Like I feel like I can do this. Or I obviously can't do that because I can't swap this in, but I can do this. What's control click? What does control click do? I just consumed that, I think. Yeah. Did you see Slay the Spire? I did, or I haven't seen it, but I've seen it a little bit. Like when you click the outcome, it teleports to your inventory. But I click this, it goes to my inventory. Oh, it's not working now. Oh, hold on. That is so strange. I feel like it just worked. Hold on. Man, I need it. I guess I can just drop this stuff. I don't really need it. That's so weird. Because I feel like I just tested that and it just worked. But yeah, I haven't seen very much gameplay of Slay the Spire 2 yet. I'm sure it's going to be a good game though. I don't know if I'll buy it. The problem is I've already played a lot of Slay the Spire 1 and it was fun and all, but I just don't know. Like maybe they did like innovate tons of new stuff, but Slay the Spire was already like a big jump, so it's hard to like follow that up with another big jump. So I just don't know like how good it's gonna be. But let's do this. Or hold on. Oops. When you have one raw ingredient left, because here I can't even click. But I can take these out. I see. Okay. That'll be the next bug we work on. Oh, these don't fit. I need to make actual crystals. We'll do this one. Let me get my shards. Or willpower. Sorry. All right, let's make sure that this works and stuff like that. It does seem like it's working. We had 21, 20, so we should end up with like 42 or something, I guess. So we'll let that run in the background, and the recipe looked good. We added this field, then we updated all of the recipes pretty much. This is the only one that I'm a little unsure of, but I'm gonna stage it anyways because I'm pretty sure I did it right. That's what we'll be testing on the side. And then we'll do that. I need a new this will be v0.8.0. Should I do purified crystals too? Let those get crushed? I don't know. Maybe I'll make an upgraded block for that or something. We'll just start with one. Small improvements. Okay. I guess I didn't write this one down, but this is that clicking, processing blocks. Click on input. It doesn't one click remove. This is almost always a bug in like the client side. Like the server, I'm sure can do this operation. It's just the client doesn't really know what to do, I think. It's weird though, because I thought that I thought I had this working, but I guess not. So that's 27. Well, all right, we'll let that run, and let's look at the client widget code. So it's an item slot widget that gets drawn. Right now, processing blocks are just hard-coded. They always have one input and one output, and then an arrow between them. So this is the, let me just double check. This is the input slot. Swap type house. Oh, because it's a housing block. That's right. Item slot widget. Index. The slot's clickable, but we also need to draw. It's really the item inside of it that's clickable. And this is the input slot, I believe. I probably went left to right. Left, arrow, right. Yeah, one-click collect is set to true. So it's either, let's see what one-click collect does try to do. I'm not really sure, honestly. All right, let me look at my logs really quick. It's weird, I'm getting, I'm getting a lot of swap slot errors, which is strange, but I guess it's okay. Inventory management code is just always really hard. I don't have any errors on this. I click this though, so at least I don't see any. All right, let's go through this code then. I think everything's set correctly though. Let's just see if there's something else. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something in the one-click collect section. Inventory backpack, first available drop slot, grab count, swap to type. Oh, on click collect. This is a typo, I guess. Let me, I just want to save the state of everything. So I'm just gonna exit. Let's do an error or a bool success. We'll do a log dot error message failed. All right, I'm gonna let that build. I'll be right back. No trunks. All right, sorry about the flickering. Worst time to leave the screen at full screen mode, yeah. The problem is this thing always goes windowed. It always does windowed and it tries to fill the screen. I guess I could update the windowing system to load your config, set your settings config, and decide the screen size that you last had it at. But the real problem is that I don't see it, so I just never like, it doesn't bother me at all. It just bothers you guys, so. But I do need to fix it. Bum, 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 bum. All right, what was I testing? Well, we're testing two things, this thing, and then also we wanted to test, where's the gold one? I think this is my client logs. Yeah, I mean, it's not failing. This is so strange because add sticky drag data. From index. Equip type. Let's just add some logs, I guess. This must be yeah, this is the like handler stuff. We draw it and then we handle all of the events. All right, so we'll print something there. We'll print something there. We'll print some info. All right. Should wait for this to build. Yeah, something's happening. It's not even getting to this. So there's something else that's preventing us. This is false, so that wouldn't be it. One-click deposit is true. Why would one-click deposit be true for this slot? That might be the bug, actually. You might be clicking it and it might just loop it back to itself. Like, I just don't see why I need to do this. Try drop slot. This would be dropping. If you're holding shift, we do this. This works. It's probably that. That's probably the bug. Let's try. Okay, yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was just, it set up like a deposit block, I guess, for some reason, but it shouldn't be a deposit block. This is like for banks and chests and stuff. Or really it's for your this is what would be true on your inventory. So that when you click an item in your inventory, it immediately goes into the thing. So like I can click this and it'll deposit into whatever's you're interacting with. But the thing is, if this is a deposit, if you click on this, it tries to deposit, it just takes it out and puts it back in itself. So. Okay, that was it. Oops, didn't want to take that one, but okay. All right, I just want to see this count up to the maximum, which I'm pretty sure is 64. I want to see it stop. And then I'll be happy. Oh, this one did get it set false. That's so funny. But this one just didn't for some reason. There's so many little things that can go wrong. Yeah. It's just like, it's hard to explain like how much, oops. I don't even think I want this anymore. Like, we just try to do it. If we can't do it, it doesn't really matter what the success is or not. Typo. This was the fix. And that's just the typo, right? Yeah, one-click collect. That's all typos. I guess I can start making the patch notes and have these bug fixes in there. Features, fixes. Or this is actually, the first one's a feature. Ore Crusher. Should I rename it? Instead of Ore Crusher, call it something different? Like Crusher or something like that? Material Crusher. Ore Crusher can now crush crystals into crystal shards, and then processing blocks now support one-click removal of input resources. Fix 2 bugs. Bum, 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 bum. All right, let's see what is next. This one was weird. Someone said that the mana berry, well, this is what they wrote. Mana berry is kind of bugged. I have no mana and I used them, but they stayed in my inventory. However, I still gained mana. When I used all my mana again, it worked normally. If the apples are stackable... Also, I don't know if the apples are stackable. When I tried to pick them up from the ground, they just disappeared. The second part, I wonder if someone was with him and the other person picked it up. Or the loot bag like just disappeared or something. That could explain that one. This one's kind of unexplainable though. Unless he ate it from like a loot bag simultaneously with somebody else. Yeah, the first one's weird though because he said he's out of mana. So let's go use all of our mana and then we'll or I should log in as a different I guess these are all I need to die. I guess I don't need to die. I just need to I'm just trying to think of what would cause what drops mana berries? I think everything does, right? So I just need to go kill a bunch of stuff. Maybe Gumbo Forest is the best place for that. All that fiber. Maybe I just make a kit for mana berry. Let's just do that rather than me run around and food, mana berry. $50. Let me get one. Let me get a skill that is like 10 or something. I don't know, man. It like well, I don't really know what to do. So I'm just gonna assume it's not an issue. Or it's just some like super rare occasional desync issue or something like that. Like maybe the apple and the mana berry both got desynced or something. Okay. Dungeon room walls or housing interaction colliders. Let's do housing interaction colliders because I've tried to fix the dungeon room walls so many times and it's never fixed. So it always seems like there's something that it like somehow regresses in like the most weirdest spots. Okay, so we'll do the housing colliders. I actually don't remember. This is for crafting. Plugin, client, housing. This is for editing your house. That's for purchasing chunks. Chunk purchase interaction. Wait, what is this then? Player house purchase chunks. Maintains the housing players purchasable chunks. Oh, and this is interacting with those chunks. House purchase sign. Housing block animation system. Oh, I actually did this. All right, that's so interesting. I made a I guess I have an active, when the processing blocks are processing things, I have an animation for them. Let's do that. That sounds funner than fixing bugs. This is a processing block, so we can do this one. I just want to see this work. I mean, this should just work, unless this function's not used, but it is, so. Oh, my hot reloader. I need something. I need what's a recipe I can do? I just need honey. Oh, this is not a, I thought this was a processing block for a second there, but it's not. We could do an incubator maybe. Or we'll do a crystal press. Oops. Oh, sorry. Yeah. My bad, guys. All right, let's do the crystal press because it's right there. Or actually, we'll do this. Delete frame. Dun dun. I'm just gonna make a 2-frame animation. Active and let's just see it animate and then we'll We'll see it animate, and then I can clean these up later. I think any kind of animation will add a lot of effect to it, so. Nice. It does work. Obviously, it's a super simple animation, but at least the system works, which is kind of nice. I'm thinking for these blocks, there's really no reason to put an animation on them, unless they're just always animated. Or I could change these, the cooking blocks, to being processing blocks, which I might do in the future, so. Oops, I just ate one. Oh wait, hold on. If I click this, I eat it? No, it goes into here first, I guess. Okay. Okay. Well, that works. We have a little placeholder. I'm probably not going to draw all these right now, but I will probably do them before next patch. Because I like to watch TV and draw. Just because it's like, I don't want to draw on stream, because I can just do it while I do other stuff. So let's fix the other problems. Let's do the thing we were originally doing, which was the collider. The collider. I'm pretty sure that's just in the interaction system. Like, I'm pretty sure I have a hook for checking housing blocks. Yeah, house purchase, house block. This interaction system just needs to be rewritten. It's so confusing. But I'm pretty sure how it works is this thing gets run, and then we find if it's a housing block, we set active interaction to true. What is this? Oh yeah, so this is the deposit to active interaction. Oh, that's something else. Okay. Chest, crafting, housing. Game dot active interaction. It's weird I don't run this first. It's weird I look up everything and then run this. Is there any reason I should do that? Like, I may as well just skip this if you've... I'm trying to think of this says this only just reads stuff out. Yeah, that's safe. Okay. Crafting. Actually, what we're trying to do is in the interaction code, isn't it? Because we already found the interact ID. So what is interact ID? Find closest interactable. This works as long as every block is 1 by 1. But because we now have blocks that are not 1 by 1, this just needs to be expanded. You want to interact with the thing that you're closest to the edge of. I think. No, because if you have 2... I'm trying to think here. You have a really big one. And you have a really small one. if this is you, then you find this one is the closer one. Well, hold on. Let's be a little bit more like... All right, we'll do this. Dink, 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 dink. I want it to be like you're on this one though. So you're like closer to this one, but this distance is larger than this distance. But you're inside of this collider. So like you want to be interacting with this one. So I think you want to measure the distance, how close you are to the collider box, not how close you are to the center. I think that makes sense. This is all the things you're interacting with. How do you measure the distance to a collider edge though? I wonder if I can approximate it just by... Well, no, because your colliders aren't squares, so you have to do... It is a little bit complicated, actually. Can't you prioritize the hitboxes with your cursor? What, so you like click on the one you want to interact with? Just because the whole interaction thing is everything in 5 tiles, your cursor is the closest. I don't think I understand exactly. You're saying you would hover your cursor over this one and then it would interact with that one? I feel like this works. Like this method works of just being closer to one or the other. Like based off your position. Yeah, let's try this way without the cursor first, and then we'll, if it's really still bad, then I can maybe add a mode that lets you do cursor mode. The interaction point for the pet yard is in the middle of the pet yard. Well, this is the problem, is that right now I measure the distance you are from the center of every block. So you're always far away from the center of the pet yard because the pet yard block is so big. But if I measure your distance to the edge of the collider, then it's more reasonable. Like this guy's just closer to the edge of this collider than he is to the edge of this collider. So this one will be prioritized. Yeah. Problem is I don't know how to measure this. And I'm tempted to just do a, forgot things have edges too, yeah. I'm tempted to just like, it's just bad. Because if you have really long stuff, I was thinking I could just approximate it by taking like your width and just subtracting that from your distance, your width of your collider, which kind of works when you're straight across on the corners. I just don't know. I just can't think of what an algorithm is for this. I might need to just like ChatGPT one really quick. I feel like it's going to be compare a line to a point though. And I'm going to have to do it 4 times for every single block. Which isn't that bad, honestly. Because you're only ever overlapping with like a few interactable colliders at a time, so. Let me see what sort of algorithms exist for this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a point to line algorithm though. But also, is it edge to edge? Or no, the center of this one is always the same. The center of this one's always the same. Or like the width of this one's always the same, because that's you, the player. So it's just point to line, I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Damzu, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. We can also exit early. If there's only one of these, it must be that one. I'm trying to think of how dude, holy crap. For access line bounding boxes. What's up, Professor Chaos? Just got here to ask what the heck you're doing right now. Some collision stuff, or yeah, I have this problem where I have originally all of the interactables in the game were like about the same size. So a simple proxy for measuring that is just saying like if you have multiple colliders interacting with you, like this is the player, these are the 2 interactables. You have to have a way to decide which interactable they're interacting with at every time. So a simple proxy, if all of the interactables have the same collider size, is just which one has the closest center. But recently I've added interactable colliders that are really, really large. So like this one, for example, is a lot bigger than this one. The player's trying to interact with this one because they're closer to it, but they're further from the center, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the algorithm to measure your nearness to the edge rather than your nearness to the center. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out like what people do for that. To find this closest, so I was just I'm just looking it up. To find the closest edge point on a rectangle to the player's center, you clamp the player's and I have axis aligned bounding boxes, so it does simplify stuff, I guess. But this is what it says. To find the closest edge point on a rectangle to the player's center, you clamp the player's X and Y coordinates to the minimum and maximum boundaries of the box. Hold on. Clamped X, and then clamped Y. Calculate the distance between player X and player Y, and clamped X and clamped Y. Does that make sense? Oh, I guess it does. Okay. So the algorithm is basically like, or let me draw an example. Just a 1-to-1. We have this guy, which is the box or the interactable. Then you've got the player. And you want to find this distance essentially. So it's going to be, you're going to clamp the, like what's on the y-axis. You're going to clamp the point to here because the player's above the edge of the box. And on the x-axis, you clamp to there as well. So you know that this is the closest point to that. But if the player was like here, then you would clamp to here. Like you're clamping the player bounds to where they are. And then on this axis, you're clamping to, or sorry, this is this is the X. Or I mean, this is the point, right? We're clamping on the X side this way, and then we're clamping on the Y side to the corner, to like this edge, if that makes sense. Like the Y side's clamping to like this point. Okay, that makes sense. Calculate the distance between the player XY and the clamped XY. Okay, that's actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be, so that's kind of handy. I thought this was going to be confusing. My first idea was to see which box you overlap with most and choose that. Those are 2 seconds of thought. You can make a line collision rectangle to the rectangle and see the distance to the collision point and use that. Line from player to center. Yeah, it's just like a small little problem. But yeah, I think that this works, just clamping and measuring that distance rather than center positions. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. That's the old one. This will be the new one. So we don't want interact GT. We want, oh, do I not have the collider here? Interactable. I might need to upgrade this. This query needs to return the collider, I think. Hold on. That's fine. We can just rewrite this one on this side, and then we'll patch the passing or the caller. Actually, how many people use this? Oh, it's used for the prestige as well, I guess. Oh, I get an injectable. That's interesting. Okay, whatever. I guess that's not really that common of a check, so. We'll do 5.2.collider. This is, yeah, this is the right package. And so we'll read the, I think I have a function that gives me the bounds. Bonus size, rect, calculate shape. Do I not have a bounds function? Oh, shape might have bounds. Oh, bounds right there. Okay. The bounding AABB. Perfect. So we'll do this. This will have to be a collider or a view 4. We'll have the interact collider. I guess I just copied it. Obviously, we can't interact with something that doesn't have a collider, I guess. And then we'll do this stuff. Dot shape, dot bounds. Oh, it's not a function. We'll have the interact bounds. then we'll use our clamping code. .min.y. And this is the player's position player gt.pause. GT just stands for global transform. I'm using the right thing, right? Yeah, collider and world space. Okay, yeah, that's right then. And then we've got tracked bounds.max.x, tracked bounds.max.y. These are new variables. And then we measure the distance from lamped x lamped y. I don't take a square root because it doesn't matter. Just saves a little computation there. I think this should work. So let's give this a shot, I guess. I'm gonna have to set up my house a little bit so that I can replicate this, but and then I might toggle the code and just make sure that this does actually fix it. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, the build didn't work. Oh, I forgot to patch it in. Let's see here. In my project, most of these are circular, which makes which one's the closest math simpler. This depends on the project, of course. Yeah, I had to kind of, I started with circle colliders as well. I had to kind of, oh, what's up, Vegas Eagle? How's it going, buddy? 3-stream streak. Yeah, I had to switch over because I ended up building weapons that had like beam weapons and stuff like that shoot like a long rectangle. So I had to rewrite my whole collision system to support that. So yeah, it is very project dependent though. You're right. Did I put this in the right spot? Okay, let's try this. Hello, hello. Oh, I forgot. My hot reloader breaks my interaction system for some reason. It's weird this one's not showing up. Let me turn this on. Oh, sorry. I have a compositor bug. That's so weird. It's picking... Which anvil is it picking? Oh, the chlorolite one. So there's clearly something wrong here. Like here it thinks, here I should be interacting with this thing. Ba-da-ba-dum. Interact collider shape bounds. Maybe Oh, if I'm inside multiple, how does that work? Because now you end up in this situation where, like, I'm technically closer to this one's edge. And why aren't they showing at all anymore? Oh, maybe the hot relator or something. Like, if I'm inside, then I'm further from one to the other. That's tricky. Oh, now it seems like it's working. That's so strange. But like, you'd expect this one to not be the Mythfall. Like, I'd expect myself to be interacting with this one, right? I guess the distance. If you're inside multiple, I guess the only way to disambiguate it is, to find the one you're closest to. The problem is then you just have this same exact problem where, like, I'm standing here. Like, I'm standing closer to this one. Maybe I need to do it tile map based or something. I don't know. Yeah, the blue boxes are the interactable colliders. So like I fit inside of the collider for this one and the collider for this one. I think we do have an improvement. But I need like a tie. I either need a tiebreaker when you are inside both of them. Like, this really doesn't help. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know if our idea even helps at all. Like, it's just gonna randomly pick one. What's up, VRD? How's it going? Yeah, the problem is closest to the center doesn't help me still, because closest to the center on this one is always further than closest to the center on this one. Have you uploaded any stuff to Homebrew? No, I don't have a Mac. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Ooh. I'm making a video game. The one you see. Why in Go though? I like Go. Go's a nice simple language that does like 90% of what I want. And the standard library is super good. The package system's super good. A lot of very nice features in Go. Isn't it slow for games though? I mean, Maybe for like super crazy 3D games, it would be too slow. But for like a pixel art game, no. Why not just Unity? I don't like Unity. I don't really like game engines that much. Are you a debloater? I don't know if I understand exactly what you're asking, but I like minimal sort of setups, yeah. I also feel like engines don't really solve the problems that I have either. They solve like things too generically, and then they just end up causing you to have like a problem that you have to solve on top of their system rather than a problem that you solve on top of like whatever, you know. Are you a GNU enjoyer? I use Emacs, so, but I wouldn't really consider myself like that much of a purist or anything like that. I just like I like well-built software. I don't even know if I would consider Emacs a well-built software though. Yeah, this is tough. It's hard. I could shrink all the colliders so they're smaller. Like make all the colliders just big enough, like so they overlap just into the next thing. Then you have to be right next to it. That's the only downside. Like you can't be out here and like be interacting with stuff. You have to be like right up next to it. But it does make the check way easier to do. Because I think the code's correct. I just think it's this. I guess I made them larger than I needed to because of the distance check. I'd have to make it like half of the tile though. But the problem is then you're interacting, like I guess you're... Let's do that. Let's do one improvement and see how it turns out. And is this in my... I have to rerun. Okay. We'll do one improvement. We'll just say if the player... If the player's inside the collider, we'll put this inside. Man, then just compare center dists. All right, so we'll do that. We'll check the distance to the edge, but if you're inside of it, we'll just find your distance to the... No, because that's going to be... I don't know. I guess let's see how this runs. I don't know. While this is building, I'm going to go get some, make some oatmeal real quick. I'll be right back. All right, we got some oatmeal. We don't have VS Code? Now I use Emacs. Nice. I use Java in game dev, so I'm total outcast from game dev circles. Simply the fact that I use it most of my career, so I know very well. Nothing wrong with that. I've done a bit of Java in my day. The problem, I don't know. I feel like it's all like use the tools that make sense to you. Yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. The problem is you end up being close to an edge, but far from let's change the collider sizes, I guess, and we'll make them just a little bit bigger than the other thing. I don't think Java's a bad language. I just think it's fallen behind in I just feel like the newer languages have really like shown like there's so many better ways of doing stuff. And a lot of languages don't like haven't kept up. Like C++ hasn't kept up, C hasn't kept up. I thank you, Dylan Mulroy. Thanks, man, for the raid. Appreciate it. I was just complaining about Java. I knew the first name. How are you guys doing? How was your stream? Hope it was well. I'm over here fixing bugs today, so. Why would anyone talk about Java in 2026? True. Thank you, Flake, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Java is a bad language. I just think it's like I just think it fell behind a little bit from like all the new stuff that new languages have innovated. But people also talk about COBOL. COBOL's a language I've never done before. All I've heard about COBOL recently is that like IBM stock went down or something because AIs are going to replace COBOL programmers. That's the last thing I heard. As they should. But I guess my pushback on that though is, isn't COBOL used for like finance systems and things like that, which are super safe? It's like, why would anybody be using AI for that? Yeah, I don't remember what version of Java I was using. I didn't mean to dump on Java. I feel like I didn't jump on Java that much. I think Java was a great language for its time. What was the guy that made it? I'm blanking. Goslin, that's right. I listened to like a podcast interview of him, talking about like the reason they made Java, like the problems they were trying to solve at the time, and like all of it made like 100% sense to me. I just feel like there's a lot of like new, interesting innovations that languages have developed. Like the Rust borrow checker is really interesting. Golang has a lot of interesting ideas. Zig comp time has a lot of really interesting ideas. I also read about this language called Veil that they call it generational pointers, which I thought was a really, really neat idea. I don't know, there's a lot of cool ideas out there. But I always feel like people should use whatever they're going to enjoy using. That's always my preference. I want to use whatever I'm going to enjoy using the most. Because if I'm not going to enjoy my time programming, then I'm just going to be miserable. So we can't have that, can we? All right, let's go ahead and reduce the collider sizes for all of these, and we will, I don't know how small to make them though. I just need them to be less overlapping, I think. This will be in the assets package though. I do not remember. This is the base prefab. Okay, so I did 32. I guess this is the radius of the rectangles. You've never seen a game in Go before? Yeah, there's not many. There's a few people building engines in Go, but I mean, Go's a decent language for this sort of stuff. It's got its problems, but every language has its problems. Yeah, this is a game in Go. It runs in browser as well. You can actually play it if you want. There should be a link somewhere down there. It goes to mythfall.com. But yeah, there's people that make engines in Go. A lot of games have been made in Go. Or sorry, not a lot. Maybe less than like, in terms of like Steam games, there's probably less than like 20 or something like that. I don't follow that closely, so I could be way off. So, all right, let's reduce the interaction distance for this. I'm gonna go ahead and do, this is for 1x1 blocks essentially. Well, hold on. Let's do 15. 16 would be one tile. Then I have like a, I guess that's not that big of a deal. We'll do 15 though. This is gonna be a really big rebuild because this is my base package, my base constants package. So everything's got to rebuild now. But yeah, the game's in Go. I did everything from scratch basically. It's on top of OpenGL and WebGL. I wrote an ECS framework that I use for it for the like game state management side. Then I use WebRTC. I use the Peon WebRTC package for all of the networking. And I fall back to WebSockets because some networks block WebRTC for some reason, like some corporate networks will. And I think some country networks do it too for some reason. I don't know why. But I do want to try Web Transport, which is like a new UDP focused browser protocol, but it's more for WebRTC is for client to client for like web conferencing. And Web Transport's more of a proper client server. It's like UDP version of WebSockets. So I'm interested in seeing how that does. But it's not as widespread as WebSockets is. I use WebSockets a lot with Elixir. Yeah, WebSockets are great. Oh, thank you. WebSockets are great. They the only downside is that WebSockets are TCP based, so you end up with this head of line blocking problem when you try to make real-time games like my game is, where like one packet gets dropped and then all of the packets back up because this one packet is missing. So when you get a lag spike, it ends up being like kind of a substantial lag spike. Yeah, so most games will use UDP focused protocols and they'll like duplicate packets and stuff like that to make sure it's more like you're looking for low latency essentially, not really high reliability like TCP offers. Let's look at the colliders now. That's not terrible, honestly. Mostly it just needs to feel good. So that doesn't feel good when you run up and it like can't decide which one to connect to. That's no good. It sucks because finding the closest is such a good proxy, but it's almost like I want to find the closest tile, not the closest collider. I wonder if I can do that, because these have tile colliders, don't they? Yes, what if I do that? If I say, if I make sure you're inside of the, I make sure you're inside of the interaction collider. And then if you have a tile collider, I use that instead of the interaction collider. But that doesn't help me for things that are just large, like other things that aren't tile based. I feel like there's a solution to this that I just do not know. Yeah, like I'm far from this, but it thinks it's close. Well, why? Actually, why does it connect to this one? Oh, because I upped the size. That's right. Okay. It's just tricky. Without knowing anything about the tile map, it's hard to say like which one you're closest to. Or like which one people are trying to interact with. That fidelity. Like my goal is to be able to run over to the left and have it know that I want to interact with this one. But if you only have the colliders, I don't think that's possible. But yeah, I think using the tile map collider is probably a decent proxy, because I can just say, if you have a tile map collider, then don't find the distance to the center, find the distance to the blocked tile. Let's do that. Let's try rewriting this function again. Or hold on. So before we were trying to clamp, but we're gonna add another I might just, I'm gonna rewrite this function completely. I'm gonna delete this up to here. And then interact query. I don't want this to pull a collider. I want it to pull whatever the tile map collider is. Who uses this? Oh, does it not get one? The prefab doesn't? No, they must. Block type fence wood. Wait, where's the prefab that this hooks to? Oh, this is the object, okay. Oh, but this isn't a prefab, it's a tile map object. We need to find like, what's something that's interactable? Yeah, interactable, let's just find one. Alchemy table, that's good enough. And then we'll do, this is the prefab, it's just a sprite and then this. I'm actually surprised there's no... Wait, yeah, I'm so confused. Block collider. I'm surprised there's no tile collider. Oh, it's right here. It's in the prefab base. They're all 1x1s, except for the pet yard and a few other. You beat the Veil, dude. Nice. How was it? Was it hard, or was it too hard or too easy? Or was it just right? Too easy once I got the controls. Thank you, Jadeep, for the follow. Appreciate it. Good for learning them, though. Yeah. That's kind of the goal, but it's technically a fight that you can't lose. Like, if you get down to 1 HP, then you just stay at 1 HP. All right, pet yard. Oh, I set the collider size. Wait, what is this used for? Oh, this is the tile collider size. It's weird though that everything ends up getting a tile wrecked. Oh, this is for blocking other things placing on top of each other. Good tutorial, boss. All right, good. Yeah, the early game's not all there yet. It's kind of still on its way, I guess, but it's coming along. Fun game. Would it be better with a controller than my mouse and keyboard? Yeah. A few other people have requested controller support as well, but I haven't. It's just tricky sometimes. Well, because I wrote my rendering library on top of OpenGL and GLFW, so it's like controller stuff is surprisingly difficult, and then I have to make it work for browser as well. So I'm still working out how exactly I want to add that. And then all the UI has to rework for using a controller. So okay, that's just for that then. This one has the right collider size built into it, so that's good. Okay, so let's change it to do that then. Level.tile collider. So we'll always try to find the we'll always try to find the closest collider, unless you have a tile collider. Then we'll try to find yeah, actually I didn't really think that through. How is it gonna change? So you're interacting with the block. You're interacting with the block and you're, let's say this is a tile map now. If you have a tile collider, I won't use the center. I'll use the closest tile, I guess. Actually, I think that works pretty well. So I'm not really sure. I don't really and I guarantee there's some code that like places this on the world. So I need to look for that. Because this is just a local space collider. I must have like an ad. Go to the bottom left of the collider point. And I just do tile pause.x. Width and height. Okay, perfect. Yeah. I should probably turn this into like an iterator or something, but I'm just going to be a little bit lazy right now. I'm going to. Technically, this is a special case. So it's basically if we have then we want to use the distance of the closest, then we want to use the distance of the closest tile. We'll throw a continue down here because this is a special case. And I guess I need the chunk loader now, so that's cool. But we've got interact GT. Oh, thank you, Alan Derry, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. All right, we have the tile position. We're gonna have to do a 2D loop across the tile collider. I guess I call it. I mean, maybe this should go into a function. I don't know. We'll write it and then we'll decide. Position to tile. Then we have to do chunk loader. Tile to, or tile to position. I'm pretty sure I didn't call it that. Position to tile. I think it might not be finding it because I don't have that passed in yet. So it doesn't know, the LSP doesn't know what type it is. And then we've got a, we're basically converting the local tile collider, placing it on the world space tile map, and then finding the position of that. And then we're gonna use that as the distance. So we need to loop through all of these, and we have to find the closest distance for it. I'm gonna call it, oh no, tile pause is a bad name, so we'll call this pause.x, pause.y, distance is this, and then we'll do the same exact check. Does this work, or do I need to, like I can either calculate the closest in the tile map and then pass it over, or I can just replace one. I guess this is fine then. When would this ever not run though? If I ever had a 0x0 tile collider, that'd be the edge case. But I don't think that that's possible, or it's not that it's impossible. I don't think I'd ever do it. Let's go ahead and just make this a game function. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, this is gonna break because these ones aren't. Oh, it's not gonna find whatever. We'll build and we'll find the because I changed it to a method. Now my LSP can't find the old call sites. So we'll let the compiler tell us. This is why I love static languages. I love like just running this and having it tell me what I need to fix and where. I don't think I could ever survive in JavaScript or Python. All right, let's run it. Give her a run. All right, that worked perfectly now. Yeah, I think that this was the right decision. Because for everything that's a 1x1, well, I guess everything has a tile collider, so it's gonna find us the closest tile for these. But then normal stuff, like for these all have interactable colliders as well. It's just gonna find the one that you're closest to the center on. Like you kind of just have to do it that way. But I feel like in your house, it's hard. It's hard because you want to be like right next to it. And it's like, oh, I want to walk just a little bit right and interact with that one. So it's better to do it based off the tile collider rather than the interactable collider. Like this all started because the pet yard, it would find, like we checked to the center of these. So like this is obviously way closer than this, you know? So like it was hard to interact with your pet yard. Now you can do this. All right, that actually worked really well. This worked. I'm surprised this kind of just worked. That's kind of interesting. I guess I can just walk off a little bit. Let's do a square. Let's do like a square around us of things. Yeah, I mean, this works actually pretty well. It's just whatever you're closest to. I'll take it. Is it a bad pattern to use the mouse direction in close tiles to decide what you interact with? Not sure how that feels. Yeah, another percent suggested using your mouse. But I think I figured out a good way to do it. It's basically just whatever you're closest to, whatever tile you're closest to. So I'm closest to this tile, or I'm closer to this tile than this tile. So I'm gonna interact with this one, but if I walk down a little bit, I end up being closer to this tile. The problem with mouse is that mouse isn't really used to, the mouse isn't used to like interact with stuff in the game world. It's only used to like place blocks and stuff like that. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's just a departure from how the mouse interactions work. Like if this was a mouse focused game, then like maybe mouse would be the right direction I think to go, but you know what I mean? Yeah, like if this was like RuneScape or something where like 90% of your interactions are with your mouse, then like, yeah, maybe mouse interaction is the right thing to do. Thank you, Kamipi, for the follow, appreciate it. I think this works. I like this too. So it took a few tries, but I think we finally got it. So I'm happy. Where is it? I guess we'll just look at the commit log. I'm gonna leave the old code now. So yeah, we'll just add this special case. So when you interact with something with a tile collider, you'll try to interact with the tile closest, or like it'll use that for your distance rather than something else. Oops. Let's see, are we missing anything? Okay. What bug was this? Oh, interact colliders. Let's open v0.8 patch notes. I don't really know how to word this. Interacting with blocks in your house now uses the closest tile rather than the closest collider. Collider center. Okay, I'll take it. I can always reword it. Fix housing block, interaction, distance, bug. Give it a push. All right, let's go with the dungeon room generation stuff. This stuff has plagued me forever. Like ever since I added dungeons, this has been a problem. So I really need to figure out like a long-term solution. I really need to figure out what's going on. It's not walls. How I do dungeon rooms is I do them like this. I place rooms. I place hallways between them. And then I add like a room object. This manages like the mobs inside of the room, and it also manages the walls. So it walks around in a square or a rectangle around some padded area of the room and tries to add walls there. So then I think what happens sometimes, what happens is this. Make this a little bit larger. What happens is this. A room gets placed, and then a room gets placed here. Like on straight on, it works well, right? But then you have a hallway that does this. Or something. So then when the border goes around, you end up with walls, like this weird corner of walls, rather than like, because this is what's going to happen here is you're going to get one block of walls, which are like one way you can run into the room, but you can't leave now. But then here you get this like cornered thing of walls, which looks weird. And also because there's a corner, it's kind of like weird interaction. So I need to fix that. I think I just need to solve this distance problem then. Like I think this. There needs to be a minimum distance here, I think. But it's hard because you're kind of on like, well, hold on. And then this needs to have a minimum distance as well, right? But the problem is like, this would break the minimum distance, right? Because if you force a minimum distance for both cases, then you necessarily have to be diagonal. Like you've got to be outside of this range. But it makes the hallway placement like go this way or this way. So it's like I need two cases. I need one where this forces the minimum distance only to operate on the y-axis, but the x minimum distance doesn't matter because we're like aligned. I'm not really sure how like I'm not really sure like the cohesive rule though that I need for this constraint. What's up, Vegas Eagle? Welcome back. I think this has to do though, or maybe I should do, maybe I should find a seed that does this, that emulates this problem, so I can test it. Or hold on. Let me try that. Because one problem with, or one thing that is hard is always like knowing when you've solved it. So let's try to find a seed. We'll just randomly generate maps until we find one that looks like it's gonna have a problem in the editor, and then we'll try to fix it. What are we looking at for our next update? More balance changes or something else? Right now it's just been bug fixes pretty much, and then adding the ore crusher idea that Roger had. And then oops, sorry. I'm starting with bug fixes, and then I'm not 100% sure. I actually think, originally I was thinking of like immediately working on the alchemy research station, but I think that's more of, like that's not as essential as other things. Like I think I like where cooking and alchemy stuff is currently. At least for like just getting started, right? It's obviously this stuff can get like, is gonna get improved on. But I feel like I'd rather have everything together before I start like micro improving everything, you know? Let's make it so we can crush purified crystals and normal crystals too. I was thinking of just starting with letting people crush normal crystals into shards if they wanted. But I feel like if you crush a purified crystal, it should still go into shards. Maybe more shards, but I don't know. Oh yeah, but for next, sorry, I was eating some oatmeal. Anyways, for the next stuff, I think what I'm gonna do, I think I want to do some more planning about the skill rework, mythboard rework, and the fate card system. So I think what I might do is I might rework the sphere event system. Because right now how the sphere system works is you basically kill enough monsters until the stability bar goes to 0, and then it starts the Alavarg fight. But I want to break that up into phases so you have like different things that are happening across the like different, what's it called? Events is like not the right word, I think, for what I have planned. Like I want to have like tasks or objectives that exist in the sphere that need to be completed for Alavarg to get triggered. So it's less of like a kill X monsters, and it's more of like do this thing and do that thing, and like sometimes it might be defeat a specific monster, sometimes it might be like some other thing or something like that. I don't know. I have ideas for it. Like I have like all the events planned out, and some of them are like kind of complicated. I'm not super confident that I'll be able to like implement them exactly how I envision, but I want something like that, you know? So I think I might do this next, because I think that that's the next big step. Because like the skill tree, we already have a skill tree. The myth board, we already have a myth board. This thing we don't have, but this stuff all needs to tie together. Ascension system is another thing that's high on my list to rework. I don't really like the orbiters, I don't think. Late game path selection, that's more of like an advanced feature that I can add later. Closing the sphere right now by yourself is really tedious. Yeah, so like, I don't know if I can make it not tedious to close it by yourself because it kind of necessarily has to be. Like if it's easy to close by yourself, then it's easy to close. It's even easier to close for a bunch of people, you know? So, but yeah. Anyways, we'll do, well, let's generate some maps. So a lot of times it lays out well. This might be a good one. Yeah, there we go. This will probably have it, right? Oh, I can't copy this number because it's just a button you click that changes the seed. But it seems like it's not too hard to find them, so. Oh, those treetops. Yeah, sometimes it's straight on and swell. It works well. Here's a good question. All right, what is it? It is weird when you get the same like very unique room back to back. When there are other dungeons, wait, when are the other dungeons going to get out of box decoration treatment like Forest Dungeon did? Because the Forest Dungeon looks really good. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's on the list. It's just, it's a lot of art to do. It's a lot of experimenting, and I'm not the best artist. But you mean like treetops and stuff like that? Yeah. I mean, it's important, but look at this. It did the same one like 3 times. I almost wonder if I shouldn't be building custom rooms. Yeah, like here's one that's probably gonna have an issue. I mean, it might not. It might get cut off like right there or something. But it's either this needs to be further out or it needs to be further in. I'm not really sure how to enforce that. Because I have something that is supposed to enforce it, but it doesn't seem to work. Let's go to Pigeon, Dungeon. I have like a, or like, hold on. Let's go to, I know Greg Pitt had this issue. What's the procedural generator for that? Or what we'll do is look for the procedural generator and see what normal layout planner, layout, get leaf nodes, sort them, labels them, add special rooms. What's up, Nutrix? How you doing, buddy? I think the best way to build custom rooms would be to chunk each room into like 4 or 9 different chunks that randomly choose from a bank of pieces and fit together, creating a more random feeling. Yeah, that would definitely make more variety. Like the strategy I went for is just building a full room, and then which is nice for dungeons that have like objects in them. Like if you've got like a mess hall or something, I can just design a mess hall. But it's problematic when you have like a bunch of mess halls in your dungeon. Like I need more like uniqueness, you know? So maybe a mixed approach where I can do like custom rooms, and then I can also do like generated rooms. Like I'm talking like fully generated rooms, but it's just hard. Procedural generation is always a little bit tough. So we pad all by the room padding. What is the room padding set to? Oh, I'm not setting it at all. Wait, no, I am setting it. Wait, what? Oh, I am. Okay, it's right there. Okay, we lay them out. We place the rooms. We add our placer, layout placer. I'm just gonna run through these. So this is the one that's like everything's laid out perfectly. It's laid out on a grid though, which is a little bit boring. So I try to add some kind of default overlap tolerance. Hallway side, which is hardcode to 3. Oops. All right, let's go look at this code. Yeah, we lay it out on a grid, and then we iterate gravity, and we iterate towards parent. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water really quick. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, let's see here. We have iterate gravity. What's the other one? Like both of these do two different things. One of them is you end up with like, you have this map of like, here's the center room. Here's like a room that got placed. Here's a room that got placed. Like, let's say this is the dungeon. One of them is iterate gravity. It tries to pull everything into the middle. And then one of them is iterate towards parent. And it tries to pull everything towards its parent. Like everything pulls inwards. Which is kind of similar to iterate gravity because they all end up pulling inwards, you know? But I think the thing I have to do is I just have to have some kind of constraint that runs. And ensures that we don't end up with like rooms that are like this. With like hallways that do like that sort of thing. Your dungeon generation can be a little bit predictable if you played a bunch. Yeah. It's hard to like not make it predictable, I guess. But ensure that most of the time it's like good. And also the special room spawns is usually off the main path, yeah. Yeah, I mean like these are like rules inside of the generation. It's like special room should be at the end. And I think I have like usually a few long paths and then I have small offshoot paths that generate. All right, let's read iterate towards parent. I do the same check for both of these. I move towards something. This moves towards the center of your parent. This moves towards the center of the map. And so if we intersect with our parent or child or whatever, then obviously that's bad. Child. What's the child in this case? Oh, because we're doing a like we're walking the tree of rooms. So we need to check this function. Or actually, I'm curious where this tolerance number comes from. Room overlap tolerance. Yeah, and this is always set to the default overlap tolerance. All right, let's see how that's used now. I just want to make sure that this was actually being passed in and not like hard-coded somewhere. I still think there should be rare puzzle rooms, either as a special room for reward or sort of a lock and key to the boss fight. Oh, so you have to like do something in the dungeon before you're able to get to the boss fight. That would be cool. I mean, I don't know what sort of puzzles I could do that are like super replayable like that, you know, because this is something that people have to do every single time they do a dungeon now. So it can't be like super tedious or people are just gonna hate it. All right, let's see what this does. What is P in this case? We read out of a map, we move it, and then we reset it. Okay. Let's see here. This is a pretty slow function, but essentially what it does is it goes through every single room and checks this axis aligned property. It looks like this function encodes the fact that there's two possibilities where like, or we had it drawn up here, where you can either be like straight on, and then it just enforces one constraint, or it does the two constraints if you're not straight on. I don't really know what X overlap means though. Oops. Cat's over there eating eating the Christmas tree lights, I think. Thinks it's food. Good idea. Could you make it so the luck bonus we get from running higher ascensions can affect the chance that a special room spawns? I can't do that because not everybody's running the same ascension level, right? So like your ascension stuff is kind of private to you. So all the effects are just added to you. They're not added to other players. So I can't like add another room because that's global to everybody. That's not like a local thing. Yeah, so I can only do ascension stuff, has to be like private, like player private. Thank you, Arthur, for the follow. Appreciate it. Minimum X radius. It's funny, I wrote this so long ago that there wasn't even min functions. Or maybe there was min functions. Oh, this is in Golang. Maybe they didn't have a built-in for it or something. All right, so we're finding the. So I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think through visually of what this is doing. We have 2 rooms. We're finding the minimum width. Okay, that makes sense. Minus tolerance. Minus what? Oh, so it's tolerance over 2, technically. So you end up with a smaller, oops. This is the idea, I think. X overlap, an int of the absolute value of center X minus center Y. Is it divided by 2 at all? No, it's just that. So that's the distance of that. Then we have the distance of this on the Y side, because the Y side does the exact same thing except uses height. Hold on. Width divided by 2. Yeah, we do radius. Tolerance. Okay, so it is on the half side then. So it's just T then. We basically invent a smaller box. And we want to make sure that if... Well, hold on. How does this ever work? Because this doesn't handle both cases like I thought it did. I have too many workspaces. Okay. So essentially I have this distance though. And that's like the allowable overlap that that's the overlap that I'll allow. That's the tolerance. Then we have the distance between the X. So like, let's just do a theory here. Like this is a different room. With its own thing. Like decreased by tolerance. Or no, it doesn't use that. It uses radius. So it'll always be the smaller side, but that's still fine. They're both going to be inside. And this one would be over here. So like the distance between them is less than the radius divided by or minus the tolerance. So this one's inside, but this one's always outside, right? So like, I'm just confused on how this would ever... So we update it. Hold up, place child is P. Man, I'm so baffled by this code. It's been so long since I've looked at this. Oh, we write it. We do the movement, we write it, and then we check all of our constraints. If it causes our constraints to fail, then we change it back to what it used to be. It's just hard though because, well, everything's laid out on a grid, so everything has to be axis aligned to start. I guess that's the assumption you're moving off of. You'll never have this case at the default start. Yeah, I mean, this should just work then, I think. Oh, I can't remember the units. Am I using, I think I'm using tiles. Yeah, these are tile rectangles, okay. So let's update this. This might have just been caused when I upped the hallway width to 4. I'm gonna do this, hold on. Thank you, Chaos, for the follow, man, appreciate it. That might be the only problem, actually. That's why it just started happening again. I think the code's all okay. Well, let's go to one that's got wildly sized rooms. No, this looks like it's gonna have the same problem. Maybe not though, like maybe it would cut off, I don't know. It's really hard to, because I don't place the, and this mostly I'm just looking to see like maps get generated. I mean, this one looks like it's definitely gonna get clipped though, right? Wait, wait a second. More tolerance. I want less tolerance. More tolerance would be more forgiving. Right? Or no, maybe I'm mixing that up because tolerance is going to get subtracted from, it's not really tolerance. It's just called that, I guess. Because you're going to, so if it's higher, you're shrinking it down more, which means they need to be more inside. I'm gonna change this as well so it's not negative. All right, let's give this a shot. Yeah, I mean, this will fix the problem. It just causes everything to be laid out like very much like a grid. I think this one will be fine. I guess everything already is kind of a grid layout anyways. Bum, 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 bum. Where's the boss room? That's so strange. Or maybe I updated the boss room to have. This might be it. Okay. I guess, I mean, like, this fixes it, I guess. It's not like the best fix, I feel like, but I'm just gonna kill that. Okay. This isn't really a bug, but fix minor bug. We'll do a make upgrade. I guess we can. The problem is it's not really like fixing it. It just feels like it's I don't know. Let me go to V0.8. I hate Grafana. Okay. All right, let's move these to the completed list down here. Sometimes have weird barriers in hallways. Okay. That is that one. Let me update this. I wanted to do a task for add housing block animations. I wanted to do that when I'm like watching a show or something. So I'll do that later. Then yeah, I think the next thing I might do is I might do the sphere event system. I'm not 100% sure yet though. That'd be a good update for this next patch. But yeah, I'll add where's my like feedback thing? This is weird. Dungeon dungeon paths are super predictable, and I don't know. I don't really have a solution to this yet, but I'll just add it here. Anyways, that's gonna be the stream for today, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Thank you all for stopping by. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. But yeah, take care. Have a good rest of your Monday, and I hope I see you next time. See ya.